So, we just started the podcast. Okay.
All right.
Welcome to Journey to a Billion. My name is Alvin, and I have a guest today. Introduce yourself.
My name is Preston Soto. I'm the broker here at Grounded Real Estate.
Are you the CEO?
CEO, broker. Yeah, I'm the owner.
Oh, that's awesome.
So been in business about a year and a half now, almost 2 years.
Wow. And how's that going for you?
Going well. Yeah, we've grown our team to eight team members and then also some admin.
Yeah.
So just kind of starting out, it was just 3 of us and just started growing it. I was with another team before for 5 years and then decided to take the leap and started my own brokerage.
So brokerage, like mortgage brokerage?
Huh?
Is it like
no. So mortgage brokerage is like finance.
Right.
Like they help you get the loan.
Right.
And so it's a real estate brokerage.
Right.
So we help the people find the house or sell their house. So we do work with the mortgage brokers, where we have a buyer and a seller and they're trying to figure out what they want to do. And so, we definitely team up with mortgage brokers, but definitely two different worlds.
Yeah, I was looking at your website because I searched you up to see what was going on there. And who made your website, by the way?
Wait, which one? I have 2 different websites.
Oh, okay.
I have one, groundedhouses.com, and that one is for here, local.
Yeah.
And then I have Grounded RE for real estate, and that's Coachella Valley.
Right.
And so that one's a little bit more high-end one.
Okay.
So it just depends on which one you saw.
I think I saw that one from here.
From here? Yeah. So that one's through, we partnered with Boomtown. They're our CRM, our client relationship manager.
Yeah.
And so they build out our website for us, and, we do any kind of leads that come through there or through our website. And so we partner with them. And then I have an awesome videographer, Anthony Platero, that caught the video, the opening video on our website. So a lot of moving parts that go into building that out.
Do you guys get really good leads off of the website?
Yeah, I mean, the big thing about it is that we have to push it, we have to promote it, right? So it's up to myself, it's up to the agents to go out there and any kind of listings that we might have or anything that we have going on, like pushing their website. My big thing for my team is, hey, push your own website because I want to see you guys get your own leads.
Yeah.
I don't know if you probably don't know too much about on the back end of the brokerage, but whenever there's a team leader that is in charge of running a team, there's different splits that come through.
Right. So
splits as far as commission, how much with your team leader.
Right.
And so whenever, on my team especially, whenever one of my clients or one of my agents gets their own leads, they get more money.
Right.
And so that's the whole reason why I built this business is I want to see my agents make more money. That's my whole thing. Yeah. So self-branding, all that stuff. Do everything you can to get out there, get as many leads as you can.
Have you heard of ClickFunnels?
I haven't.
No, dude.
Well, no.
You got to get a ClickFunnels integrated into your website because it's the death of websites, like literally. Okay. So we're a marketing company. Mm-hmm. We usually just work for automotive sales. So dealerships, we go in and we do the processes. We do the processes. We do the systems. We create leads, and we just change the whole process to get insane amounts of sales. Mm-hmm. Right. And what ClickFunnels does is that it makes it super simple. If people go on your website, it's like a brochure, right? Mm-hmm. With ClickFunnels, the person that goes on your website does whatever it is that you want them to do. Right. So if you want to just create leads, it's just input information. Right. If you want to sell a product, it's just a product there, and then there's
gotcha. Mm-hmm.
And it makes it like Amazon, where it's just one click or two.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, kind of similar to like Facebook ads, kind of like
sort of
similar,
like that. Yeah, something like that. I have a couple questions for you that I want to ask.
Yeah. No. So, ask away.
How was 2008 for you?
2008. I wasn't in here 2008.
Oh, you weren't?
No.
Oh, okay,
I've been in the business for 7 years in May.
You're lucky.
Yeah, no, I'm lucky. We did benefit on the back end of that. My wife and I, we bought our first house in 2010 for $86,000. Yeah. And then we had it for a couple years, fixed it up, and then like a lot of people in today's market, it's so funny that how similar it is because whenever I wasn't in real estate, and our house was worth like $140,000, and we're like, oh man, we're getting to the top. Like this is kind of scary. Like we should cash out. Yeah. So we sold it. Oh, it's worth $260 now. So that's like kind of part of like why I hold real estate too. Is I got burned like that in the past, or feel like I got burned, but you know what you know in the moment. So, so that's why it's like, I've been on both sides of it, the whole psychological part of real estate and feeling like you're getting to the point to where the bubble's going to burst.
I think the bubble is just getting started. That's my opinion.
Right.
I feel like it's just starting out. It's like, it hurts to be a pessimist in real estate. It just hurts you because in the long run, run, you'll definitely make profit.
Right. Exactly. Because even if people that held even through the collapse, the ones that could hold their properties, I mean, they've seen the amount of equity come back and then some. Right. It's gone up even more higher than it was before. Right. So I mean, it hurts to be a pessimist, but it also kind of keeps you grounded, in my opinion.
Right.
You got to kind of take a step back and be able to analyze both perspectives of it to be able to make an educated decision.
Man, I gotta ask you, what's it like driving a Porsche?
It's fun. I mean, it gets me from gas station to gas station pretty quickly. But no, it's nice. I mean, it's just one of the little things. Me and my wife, we have our investments. We don't like to be too fancy or go out and spend a bunch of money on like designer clothes or stuff like that. So it was just something that kind of in the moment we wanted to get splurged on, and we got it.
Man, dude, I'm in the market for a Porsche for like a couple months now.
Yeah.
Like I went to a dealership. I test drove the Taycan.
Oh Taycan, yeah.
And there's nothing right now. Like I was out there in Texas when I drove it, out in El Paso, and there was like no stock whatsoever. There was like a 6-month waiting list.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
Yeah.
But like right now, what I really want is a 718 Spider.
Oh, okay.
I drive the Mustang right now, but like. I feel like with cars, it's like you buy it and you're really excited for like a while, and then you're like, okay, what's next? That's the way I am.
Yeah, no, exactly, and that's kind of thing too. I think just in life, you have to always just kind of take a step back and keep perspective on what your goals are.
Yeah.
Just kind of see where you're at financially and on your investments. And I have two older kids. My son's gonna be 16 soon, and then and then my daughter, she's 9, she's gonna be 10. So it's like, okay, I got one going to college pretty soon. So it's like, you just kind of have to analyze the business and the home expenses and what's going on for the future before you jump into like a big investment like that.
Yeah. What's cool? Is he planning on going to?
No clue right now. He's a sophomore. He's a sophomore. He's a big time golfer. So we're pushing that. Hopefully he can do something with that if he wants to. If not, then that's okay. Yeah. We're big proponents on junior college is okay. You don't have to go to university. You can go to IVC. You can go to SCSU here. Me and my wife, we bounced around to a couple different schools right out of college, and still have some debt that we're paying off. And we've seen it firsthand that the degrees or the undergraduate stuff that you can get locally for basically nothing is the same as a university. Yeah, you don't get the university experience, but you could always transfer for the your last 2 years or whatever. But yeah, so it's always before you get in big investment like that, you always just want to kind of analyze where you're at personally and professionally, and then
financially.
That's the big one. That's the big one. Yeah.
Like, for example, I'm 19, right? So I just graduated a while back.
Wow. Okay.
I graduated at 17, kind of early, and I got accepted to really good universities. But like I've had the entrepreneur bug for a long time.
Yeah.
I was trading stocks in high school, buying Tesla like crazy. I would sell chips, buy stocks, and just trade and just make my account go crazy. And when Corona hit, like my account got wiped out instantly. Yeah. So I go to Texas and I start a painting company. So I just forgot all about school, and then I was generating more money than what my degree was going to make by multiple of 2. So I was just like, at this point, it wasn't even making sense.
Right.
So I just been sticking with this entrepreneur stuff. It's been going great.
Yeah, no, and that's really good. And I think that's one of the big mind frames or mindsets that people get into is you have to go to school, you have to get a degree and work a 9 to 5. And that's where I was. Yeah. I worked for an architecture firm for over 10 years. From the time I was 16, went to school for a little bit, came back, pounded on their door every month. You have a job for me, you have a job for me, you have a job for me. They're like, no. And then finally, they're like, yeah, we'll bring you back since you're so persistent, right?
Yeah.
So then I came back and I was there for another 8 years, so 10 years total. And I just found myself, going in at 4 a.m. and then, leaving at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, go get my kids and just running around. And it wasn't a life that I really wanted,
yeah.
Right? I was burnt out. I was tired. Always be grateful for the company that, you know, gave me a shot, because I was literally going to, I don't know if you know what labor ready is, like, you know, like just, you don't know what you're going to do. You know, I'd wake up at 3:00 in the morning, go sit outside with all these people and just try to get a job for the day. And I was, I don't know, 20 years old.
Were you married at the time?
I was. Yeah, I was married. We had a brand new baby.
Oof, yeah.
Yeah, so it was tough. And so just not knowing what you're going to do. And so got back into that job, and then just found myself just, you know, not really having the life that I wanted, and just started applying other places, but there were other 9-to-5s, right?
How do you transition from going to architecture to real estate? What's the transition like?
Honestly, so it's funny. So whenever we sold that house that I felt like I got burnt on, right?
Yeah.
My realtor, Garrett Thill, shout out Garrett Thill.
Yeah.
We hit it off great, right? And he guided us to selling our house, and, you know, we just became buddies, right? Texting buddies, and and so it got to that point where I was, you know, applying at IID for jobs and all that stuff, and it's like one of those like moments where like, you know, your life kind of changes, but you know, like where you're at in the moment. And so like I'll never forget, like me and my wife were driving from Brawley till Centro, and we're at the crossroads right there by A&PM, where the new Starbucks and McDonald's are. She's like, "Hey babe, like, what do you think about real estate, trying real estate?" And I was like, never even thought about it. And so I was like, I'm gonna reach out to Garrett and see what he thinks, or like what I need to do, and you know, just kind of fishing to see if he might be willing to take me on, because at the time he was the #1 agent out here too. And so I texted him, "Hey, what do you think? I'm thinking about getting my license. Like, what do I need to do?" And he's like, "You're coming to work for me." I was like, "Awesome! That's exactly what I'm looking for." You know. So did all my stuff, got my license. Was still working at the architecture firm, but at the time it was just Garrett, myself, and another agent, and it was just 3 of us, and we were getting a lot of leads. He was way ahead of the curve on the online lead stuff.
Right.
And so I would literally be in the office working on the computer, get calls, and be like, "Gotta go outside, go take calls, get a lead, set up some showings." And so for me, like transitioning from that, I got licensed in May of 15, and by August of 15, I put in my 2-week notice. Awesome. And so, but transitioning, I mean, I always had a passion for houses. I went to school for architecture for a couple of years. I went to UNLV for a year. I went to New School of Architecture for a year and a half, and dropped out both times. Then I settled with a degree of business through University of Phoenix. But I always had a passion for architecture, houses. So this gives me, it fulfills that passion of mine to be able to see all these different types, especially expanding out to the Coachella Valley area. Right. Just so many different types of architecture out there. Out here, you get some very unique houses, but it fulfills what I was looking for there without having to slave behind the desk all day.
Yeah. I literally worked for a painting company for like not even a month. Mm-hmm. Then I quit and started my own painting company. Nice. I don't know anything about painting except I could paint. That was it. Yeah. And how was it with the confidence? Like, how did you get the confidence to just be like selling houses?
Oh.
Or did you just fake it
till you
made it?
Fake it till you make it, dude.
Awesome, man.
You have to. No, you have to.
You have to.
You really have to. And this is honestly, this is something I went over with my team yesterday. It's a unique selling proposition. Like, what do you have that can offer
Dan Kennedy?
to? Huh?
Dan Kennedy?
From one of my old coaches, he brought that up, but I'm sure it's been passed around. Yeah. But it's just, you know, what can you tell yourself going into an appointment? Like, what do you have to offer? You know, that's different than, you know, this other agent over here. Right. You know, what can pump you up and say, I'm the best at this. Like, I'm the baddest one that's going to do this. You know, what can give you that confidence going into this appointment, whether it's a song, whether it's a mantra, whatever it is. And you got to have that confidence going into it.
Mine's Kanye Power.
There you go.
I listen to that right before I close any deal. Before anything. It's just that song goes hard.
Yeah, no. So being able to find something that can give you that confidence going into it is going to help you build the confidence, so you don't have to use those resources to have the confidence going into it. Because I mean, a lot of real estate, a lot of sales is a lot of cadence on, you know, understanding speech and also script. Right. You know, once you've mastered a lot of the scripts, you know, you can go to any buyer and apply any script to it, and it's going to come out. If you have the confidence in it, like, you know, it's kind of like one size fits all, and you have to learn how to tweak it on the fly. But you're going to build that confidence the more you do. But if you don't do it when you start, you're not going to learn the proper ways to.
Do you believe in being absolutely delusional at the beginning?
Delusional in what sense?
Like, because the way I run stuff is like, I started a marketing company, I started a painting company, and like when you're young, you get like doubted a lot, right? Mm-hmm. So like my whole thing is I'm just like so delusional and believe in myself so much that I just believe I can do anything. Do you believe the same thing?
Well, you have to. If you have to, you have to be your number one fan.
Yeah.
Your number one supporter. You have to be, because if you go up to somebody, you don't have the confidence, and they can feel that off of you, they're not gonna trust you.
What's the greatest ambition you have right now? Like, what's like your like the biggest holy grail? Like, what's the like if you could achieve that, it'd be like, this is awesome. Like, this is it.
Honestly, it's not. My wife's she'll smile about this one. It's just giving my wife the ability to not work anymore.
Right.
She works she's a nurse for one of the prisons out here. Right. And she leaves early, she comes home late, and it's just one of those things where I'd rather be able to provide an opportunity to stay home with the kids and enjoy the kids and enjoy the time off. So it's not anything like financial, like I want a big mansion or I want a Ferrari or anything like that. It's pretty simple. I would just enjoy for her to be able to be home. I mean, yeah.
What do you think it'll take to achieve that?
If I can hit 50 to 75 million in sales, we'll be in a good spot for the team. Last year, what did we do last year? We did about 40 million last year.
That's awesome.
So, close, we had 118 closed. Total closing pending was about 140. So if we can get up to 200 to 250, we'll be in a really, really good position. And then also expanding out to Coachella Valley and trying to start a team out there. I mean, it'll help get there. If in the next 12 to 18 months, if we can hit 100 million, that'd be like the big goal.
Why don't you, since we have Grant Cardone as a picture, why don't you 10x it to the billion? What would it take to hit the billion? I mean, because at the billion, you'll definitely, your wife doesn't have to worry about it.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
So what would it take for you to get to the billion?
To get to the billion would be big expansion, much bigger team.
Right.
So, and there are a lot of teams that that I look up to that are doing that in the moment. So definitely something to look at.
Because my mindset is like, I go out there and I'm trying to dominate, cut heads, take no prisoners. Right. That's my whole thing. I'm trying to hit the billion in sales, cash money, not even valuation. I want personal funds billion. That's the minimum. As my coach would say, snapping necks and cashing checks. Yeah, exactly.
So.
Who's the coach, by the way?
Chris Robertson. He's from LA. So we've been going for about a month now. So I had another one named Jason who's from New Zealand. So but that's definitely the right mindset to have out here. So it's kind of like small town mindset out here. Yeah. It's very hard. You have a couple hundred real estate agents. Right. Maybe 50 or less are doing business. Full-time, exactly, that can afford to do full-time, and then you have maybe 10 to 15 that are real players out here that are, doing 40 deals plus every year.
What's your bottleneck right now?
What's
stopping you, what's capping you from expanding?
So expanding, and so that's not capital, so that's kind of what I'm getting into is kind of small town mindset is, people get with their teams and then a lot of people stay, right? It's not very often where you have somebody bouncing to a new one or, just going to a different agency. And that's how it is. Just is how it is out here. So starting out here, a lot of my agents are newer or were solo agents or anything like that weren't part of a team. Because kind of whenever you're part of a team, then you kind of stay there unless you have ambitions of becoming a broker and starting your own team. If you don't have those ambitions, then you generally stay stay put. So that was my whole goal of starting the Coachella Valley area, was because number one, out here for low inventory through COVID, like we started at around 90 to 100. Over 100, around 100 is a normal market out here on the market at any given time. Mm-hmm. Right during COVID, we were about 70 to 80 houses. Middle of COVID, about 50 to 60. And then just like a few months ago, we were at like 25 houses on the market. And I was like, okay, time to get it together and expand, figure out where you can go. Because out at Coachella Valley, like 3,000 houses on the market at any given time is considered low inventory. So it's like, okay, that's an hour away. My office that I opened is only an hour away from my house. So that's the best target to start expanding to. So still growing here, just brought in a new agent, but over there got an office. It's just myself right now. Gonna have some interviews with some agents. Want to get some business under my belt first,
right.
But in order to expand, that's going to be the first part, because from my experience, a lot of the people that are newer to the industry want to have their team leader there, or be able to, to see them in the office, or
right.
be able to come to them with any kind of questions immediately, right? Especially whenever you're starting a smaller team.
From what I hear, talent is the bottleneck.
Talent, big time. Big time. I mean, yeah, absolutely. That's you can get a bunch of agents and handle licenses, but if they're not producing, I mean, well, it's just a name on the wall. That's it.
Yeah.
So,
you ever think of expanding to San Diego?
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, it's kind of one of those things where if I'm gonna do something, I want to be hands-on in the business.
Right.
And so if I'm gonna do that, then I'm gonna be in the field over there.
Right.
So right now I'm going out to Coachella Valley twice a week or so, 2 or 3 times a week. I go to my office maybe once a month. Right. I'm just driving there and then doing that. And I mentioned that I coach the boys golf team, so it's like I know I gotta leave Indio by like 1 o'clock, go pick up my daughter, and then drop her off, and then get my son, and then be at practice at 3:30. And so we got about 2 more weeks of this, and then after that, so if I can get business going there, get a couple agents hired there, then maybe look into San Diego.
You told me you read the 10X. Right, by JC. Do you ever think of like maybe hitting the jets? What do you imagine in your life? Like, what's the absolute most insane ambition you got going on?
Honestly, like I said, I'm not flashy to the point to where thinking about that. I mean, just having the financial independence to not have to be bound to. Exactly. That's my biggest goal in life right now, and be able to provide, my family the life that they deserve. It's pretty humble stuff that I'm looking for, and that's because I've been, I've scraped by. I've been through the hard parts, and so I don't want my kids to have to go through that. So being able to do that, I mean, if all the other stuff comes along the way, I'm there 100%, right? That's the cherry on top for me, but just being able to live the life that we want and not be bound by rules in the sense of financially or anything like that is the biggest goal. Have you
heard of Alex Hormozi?
No.
No. So he talks about this. We just read his book a while back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I do a lot. I try to read as much as possible. Are you similar?
I do. I've never been much of a reader.
Right.
But I am.
Audiobooks.
Huh?
Audiobooks.
Audiobooks are good. Yeah. I try to do for me, it's just I feel like I have to, before I go full audiobooks, I want to learn to read almost. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna be very blunt with you. I feel like you could get to the private jets, especially in real estate.
Yeah.
I feel like you could get to the point where you expand all of California. Mm-hmm. You can expand to a different state, just dominate California extremely. Mm-hmm. Become the best in California, then start expanding to other states. And I feel like you might have been infected with small time because you're thinking really big. But I can see it. I have this thing where with people, I just see their potential. I don't see them as the way they are. Like Steve Jobs, how he would hire based off potential, not how they currently are.
Right.
I see you like this guy right here. This guy you could be him. Times 10.
I appreciate that. And I think you're right. I mean, it's allowing yourself to get to that point, I guess, right? And that's a big part of it, is just allowing yourself to get there mentally. So I do appreciate it.
Have you read Think and Grow Rich?
No.
No?
No.
Oh man, you gotta read it.
All right.
Okay. That book talks about how I don't know if you believe in all this manifesting stuff. Do you?
Yeah. Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because
I think that's one of the biggest things. I mean, going back to, I mentioned my son, he's a golfer. I mean, if you say, it's manifestation. If you say, hey, I'm not doing well, I suck, or I'm gonna hit a bad shot, or F this, then you're probably not gonna play pretty well, right? Yeah. And that's just going down to that term. I mean, if you're out here saying I want to make $1 million a year, $2 million a year, $5 million a year, and you believe it, I mean, yeah, I think if you put that out into the universe, and you
back.
put the work into it, you know, you can't just say
Yeah,
it, you just go cruise on the beach or at the golf course, but you put the work behind it, then yeah, I absolutely believe in the manifestations for sure.
Yeah, because like I'm gonna just give you a real life example. When I was working in the painting company, I was making $15 an hour. And for New Mexico, it's a lot of money because the minimum wage is like $7. So I was making double minimum wage, right? And in my mind, I was like, okay, I need to hit. When I got to Texas, I moved out of my house at 17, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just hit 20,000. I just want to hit 20,000. If I can just hit 20,000, like my account is negative.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to hit 20,000.
Yeah.
My first contract, $25,000.
Nice. Yeah.
Profit, like and I was just like, whoa, like that was like my first.
That's
like,
your
little success.
Snap to reality on the other side of business.
Yeah.
As far as not being an employee anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, well, if I can own a Mustang in a house, that'd be awesome. And then boom, I get the Mustang that I want.
Yeah.
Boom, I get the house that I want.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, shit, this is a real thing. Because at first I didn't believe in any of this. I thought it was bullcrap. I'm like, there's no freaking way. Like I say my affirmations every night. I don't know if you pray or whatever, but like I'm very like center focused on my goals.
Yeah.
I don't leave here until like I don't know 9, 10.
Yeah.
Like I work my ass off because like I have really big ambitions, so I'm trying to reach out. I'm delusional in that way. I'm just like crazy. I just want it.
No, that's good, and I think that's really it because it frees you up to chase your dreams. You're not being bound by the normal rules or that society puts on you that says, hey, you're 19, you're too young to make six figures. You have to go through the process of going through school.
I think 6 figures is way too little at this point. Like
what's that?
6 figures is like way too little.
Oh yeah,
like. I used to dream of making 6 figures, and then when you get to that point, it's like, oh, it's not even that much money.
Right. Yeah.
You're like what the hell? Like, what, I thought 100,000. I'm like, damn, if I could just make 100,000. And like, once you reach the point that you want, it's like, dude, like that's not enough.
Right.
Like, there's some people that say that you don't start living until you hit the 500,000 a year. Because like at 500,000 a year, like your life opens up a little bit more.
A little bit more, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I want to get to the point where I can like, if I want to get say with Kanye, I'll just donate to his charity, and now I'm next to him. If I want to be with Grant Cardone, I'll be the biggest investor in Cardone Capital, and I'll be right next to him. I want that access.
Right. No, absolutely.
Especially people, and networking is like so important. Would you agree?
That what?
Networking is important.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, absolutely important. Yeah. So that was even, like I said, going back to the expansion, like the first thing I did was start meeting with lenders and trying to make those relationships and say, hey, I'm coming into town. I know it's going to take a while to build these relationships with you. For you guys to start sending me some leads, but let me just show you that I've been here for a month and I'm sending them leads left and right, like my conversion's on point, and all the leads don't always work out. Yeah. But it's showing them like, hey, I'm putting the work in. I'm gonna send you some stuff and
what's your you got a cold call ready? Like
what's that?
What do you guys do? Is it a cold call you guys have?
No, not necessarily. So we're the only Zillow Flex partners out here. So there's different programs that Zillow has. You can either pay to play, where you pay Zillow and they'll send you X amount of leads every month.
Right.
Or if you're in the top whatever percent of teams, you can they'll bring you on they'll offer a flex program where it's just a different pay scale, and so basically it's a more referral based. And so we are the only team out here that is part of Zillow Flex, and just over a year ago I saw their business model going to this type of form. And so I just really pushed to try to get in, just kind of like my old job, just banging on the door.
Yeah.
And finally I got in, and it's been awesome for our team. We've, we've been in for less than a year. We've got over 300 leads just through that program. And so we get leads actively from Zillow, but the way I bring the people onto my team, my whole goal is to help them build out their business. That's what I pride myself on, is helping somebody build up their business, right? Having the foundation of different pillars of producing their own leads, including like the ones, the team leads, Boomtown leads, the Zillow leads, but also the personal stuff, lender referrals, because they're building those relationships, is building those up. So it's not really a cold call, but we do get some, and then it's like, hey, thanks for registering our website. Like I saw you, looked at this property, when you want to go take a look at it, and just working on stuff like that. So, we do some stuff called circle marketing where we can do some cold calling. We kind of hold off on that, but because we have a ton of leads in our system already that need to be touched on.
I mean, for our clients, we just provide like, I believe in complete domination or nothing. Like, so for my clients, it's like, I'm gonna get you the cold calling ready. I'm gonna do the SEO, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube. Yeah. I'm gonna get you everywhere. If you're not everywhere, you're not gonna win. Like, like I'm not gonna put you on as a client unless you're willing to go all out, win and compete and dominate your industry. Right. You know, especially with car dealerships. Essentially, everybody's selling the same thing. Right. But whoever can provide the most value. For example, we have. Should I even talk about it?
Yeah.
All right.
Any opportunity you get the chance to talk about it.
We have a patent on sales processes and systems that basically gets dealerships from like 6 hours. I mean, you know, when you go buy a car, how long does it take?
Yeah, no, it takes forever. Yeah.
Well, what we do is we go into a dealership and we provide systems and processes that gets it down from like 6-7 hours, which is the average, down to 1 hour.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Like that itself, that money that's saved. I mean, there's employees, there's overhead, there's light bill, there's all types of overhead. It's just cut extreme. Yeah. And I mean, our fee's insane as well, right? Yeah. But the amount of value that we provide is insane as well. Yeah. Right.
No, that's really good because that's the first thing. Anytime we're buying a car, I call them. I'm like, I know what I want. This is what I want. Yeah. Do all the paperwork because I don't want to be there forever.
Exactly.
Like, I just want to go. I'll do the test drive because I have to. Right. But I want to sign the contract and leave. Like I don't want to be there all day.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I bought a 2022 Silverado like a while back, and I went to the dealership and they were just like the salesman was just pissing me off because he was like, okay, this price, and I'm like, no, like this is the price, like no, like this is the price I want. Yeah. Right. And then he's like, okay, give me a second. So he goes back, waits 15 minutes, and he's just bullshitting back.
Yeah.
He doesn't do anything. Yeah. And then he comes back, he's like, okay, this is the price, drops it by 500. I'm like, oh my god, like, dude. Yeah. You know, he goes back another 15 minutes. Anyways, we spent an hour just negotiating. I'm like, dude, just give me a freaking price.
Just cut to the chase already, like theatrics,
And like that's what I hate about dealerships, and which is why we're changing the hell out of that.
Yeah,
like
nice.
Very very soon you'll know about Altair. I mean, we have a patent already, and I mean we're just going everywhere. Like
nice.
You're gonna know about the dealership who has our product because that's the only dealership you know about. Trust me. Like when you're gonna see a bunch of ads very soon, and you're gonna be like, damn.
That's who they are.
Alvin got to them.
Right on. That's good. That's cool, man.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Like the first things I told them that people are going to talk about when it comes to going to dealership is the amount of time it takes.
Yeah,
and especially that you said that even though you already know what you wanted, you're already ready. It still takes a long time.
Yeah, no, it still takes a long time. It's ridiculous. So that's cool. Looking forward to that.
Our patent includes like a process where say you want to trade in your car, right? The car owner does not want to go to the dealership and get his car appraised and everything. Yeah. So what we do is we have a car salesman go to you.
Oh, nice.
And value your car. And at the same time that he's getting a value on your car, he asks you all your finance information. So that once you get to the delership, everything's already ready. You just show up. Nice. You have a pool of cars that you can afford. So there's no embarrassment with like, oh, you can't afford that car. Yeah. And then you feel like shit. You're like, damn it. So that's basically what we do.
Nice. That's smart.
I want to ask you if you could give any advice to your younger self. Say you're 19. What would you tell your 19-year-old self?
Just keep going. Just keep grinding. It's all worth it at the end. Like it's you know you get to a point and you're frustrated and you know like growing up I wasn't taught about money. Like me and my wife we had a ton of credit card debt. Right. Like and it was just like you know you feel like you're sinking and. You know, you're working a 9 to 5 and not making any money, a couple $100, you know, and you know it's just bad. And but just put the work in. I mean, become an entrepreneur. That's like get out of the cycle. Get out of the cycle. If I could have gotten out of it sooner, you know, I just think about where my life would be now, right? And everything happens for a reason. Timing, like I wouldn't have met Garrett. It all comes down to timing too, but. I think entrepreneurship is not for everybody. It really isn't for the faint of heart. You're going to have the ups and downs. You have to have a special personality. If people like that 9 to 5, great. Like, you know, respect to that. But, like, if you're going to do something, like, if you're going to be a doctor, make sure you own the practice. Make sure you own the building. You know, and hire other doctors to work for you. So then you're not only just making your own, but you're making something off of them, too. You know, it's just a different way, a different mindset. So get into entrepreneurship early, even if it's just a side hustle or whatever, that's going to help you get to that point to where you don't have to clock in and clock out. I can definitely feel that. I definitely feel that people were more happy not having to, go to a job or, a 9 to 5 or something like that, if they have the mindset to be able to figure out what they want to do with their life and apply themselves and to make it successful, not just say I'm an entrepreneur and then you're bankrupt in a year. And I mean that people go through bankruptcy too. Entrepreneurs that want to be that, but like just by hanging out, just by going to their friend's house or going golfing every day or something and saying they're an entrepreneur, no, just put the work in. But get out of the cycle if
There's two quotes that I really love about entrepreneurship. There's one, it's like entrepreneurship is like getting kicked in the nuts every freaking day and liking it. And also like the Elon Musk one where she's like, entrepreneurship and like starting a business is like eating glass and staring into the abyss. That's exactly what it is. But like I love the journey, like the ups, the downs, the huge ups, the huge downs. Because I'm sure you've had some. Like you just get kicked in the nuts constantly over and over every day.
And it all comes down to being able to pick yourself up again and keep moving forward, because if you stay down, nobody else is going to make your calls for you, nobody else is going to set your appointments, nobody else is going to go close your deals for you. If I don't get up and keep moving forward, my family doesn't eat. We can't pay our bills. And so it's like you have to create a short-term memory. It is okay to allow yourself to be upset. It's not like you shut yourself off emotionally to where like nothing bothers you. That's completely opposite of what you should do, right? You should have that empathy and sympathy and be able to feel those emotions either with your clients or yourself, or feel frustrated when you're frustrated, but allow yourself that time to get over it. But say, hey, I'm giving myself 24 hours, then I'm moving on.
No, I give myself 10 minutes. I'm like, let's cry about this for 10 minutes. Let's keep fucking moving.
I guess everybody's time can be whatever. It just depends on, if it's lost a client to another agent, that's a little bit shorter than, losing $1 million deal.
Are you extremely petty?
Petty in the sense of what?
Like
I would classify myself as petty. But in the sense of,
for example, say a bigger company were to steal a client from you. Because my mindset is, if somebody steals a client from me, my mindset is, you're just fucked. You're fucked. I have to beat you to the point of submission. I will make you my bitch. Like at that point, like I don't even have a little no remorse whatsoever. I'm gonna dominate you. There's no in between.
So it's funny. Starting this year, I actually had this conversation with my team, because I am extremely petty to that point, and just kind of figuring out another perspective on the business. I thought it was smart for me just as we're growing, and for me, it's like if I do have a client and they go with another agent, I'm pissed, but at the end of the day, I feel like I build good relationships and great rapport with a lot of my clientele. To where, because there's like agreements you can have them sign that they can't go with somebody else, but we don't do that. So if I build that rapport, I feel like they're not going to leave me anyway. So if somebody that does leave me, we probably aren't going to do a deal anyways. Right. So I kind of let it go. But getting back to starting this year is, I'm not going to base my happiness on beating another team or whatever. It is nice. Everybody in real estate is a scoreboard watcher. You want to be the number one agent out here. You want to be the number one team out here, and it's just part of the deal. And it's fun. It's competition. It's fun. I have a lot of really, really, really good friends on other teams, and we compete, and it's fun and whatever. But at the end of the day, that if we are number 2, 3, 4 out here, it's not gonna dictate my happiness, because if I'm number 2. And I've closed, 80 deals on my own, and we've closed 150, 200 deals as a team. Like, it's a good year, That's it's something to be proud of. So
let me give you an example of just how freaking petty I am. And the reason why we're doing this podcast is because I'm petty as hell. When I got here to the Valley, I just got here, we've been closing deals left and right, getting clients, because I've already been doing this. I know what the hell I'm doing. I just just move forward. You know, we're expanding to San Diego, then very soon LA, and then very soon San Francisco. We just want all of California.
Yeah.
Right. But I was trying to promote myself here, and there's a girl who has a podcast. And so I asked her. I texted her. You know, I went to school with her. I'm like, hey, can I get on your podcast? And so like she jerks me around like 2-3 days, and then eventually after like a week she says no.
Yeah.
I'm like, you fucking said no at the beginning. So
no, she didn't say no. Tell her that.
She said, my team and I, after long discussions, have decided not to do it. Like
that's crazy.
Like,
yeah.
Like, and then she said, yes, but you're gonna have to come back like in a month. Like,
yeah. So like she jerks me around, like say, okay, come back in a month. Ask her again. I'm like, okay, what date? And then she's like, no. And I'm like, okay, fuck you. I'm gonna start my own podcast.
Yeah.
And fortunately, like the first video just like blows up, and like we just totally demolished her podcast.
Nice.
Yeah. So like I mean, I did DM every single person on my Instagram, everybody on my Snapchat.
That's what you gotta do. Yeah.
Like I have no problem with bugging people. Like I'll just ask them out. No, if they say no, it's a no. Anyways.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to give entrepreneurs a chance to promote their business, promote themselves, get a platform.
Nice.
Because there's none right now. So.
No, absolutely. There's absolutely none. I mean, I've been doing this for almost 7 years now, and this is the first podcast I've been on.
Yeah.
So no, I appreciate you guys.
By the way, you're the first guest we have here.
Really?
We've been doing the podcast together.
Yeah.
You're the first guest. If you know anybody who wants to come on podcast, you can definitely.
Absolutely. No other realtors right now.
Exclusive. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate that. That's cool to know that I was your guys' first guest. I definitely had a good time on here.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're definitely going to end this now. Thank you for watching Journey to a Billion. Do you want to shout out your socials and?
Yeah, Grounded Real Estate on Instagram, Preston Soto Broker on Instagram. Yeah, that's about it.
If you're not buying with Grounded Real Estate, you're messing up. So buy with them. He's the only guy that you can trust in this valley. He's the absolute best. If you're not buying a house from him, you're fucking up. So I'm just gonna let you guys know right now. So definitely get a house from him.
I mean, he drives a Porsche.
He drives a goddamn Porsche.
He said it best. Thanks, guys.
All right,
Appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.